Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another exciting edition on our program, Mountain Echoes. With us today in the studio, we have the parishioners of St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda, Mile 14. Some weeks back, we had St. Jude's Parish, Bolifamba, Mile 16. There is a difference between these two parishes. They have St. Jude, but the one in Mile 14 is St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda, not Bolifamba, Dibanda, Mile 14. And you have maybe on the picture that carried the St. Jude, you see the one with palm branch, the other one you see maybe with an axe, and maybe to differentiate them. This one basically they are ongoing with the novena when they're going to celebrate the feast of St. Jude Thaddeus, which will be coming up some days ahead. With like I said at the beginning, they have come to showcase to tell us more about the parish, like other parishes have been doing. The St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda, Mile 14 is under Munya Dineri. We had already Mile 16. We had Mile 16. We had Munya. Today is Mile 14. And next we shall be looking at we had Bomaka. And so the one parish that is left under this Dineri is John Paul II Parish, Ekuna. So that will be the last on this Dineri. Then we turn over to another Dineri. But that is not what we're looking at today. Like I was just giving me kind of a rundown of what happens in the Dineri or the parishes that are involved in this Dineri. We shall be looking at this topic. St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Mile 14, Dibanda, breathes door in a red zone. And with us today, you cannot be talking about the parish without persons like the chairperson, the financial bench, the catechist, a pioneer Christian, the project chairperson also. Those are the persons who sit together to ensure that despite the crisis since 2016, and they have been moving, thanks to God, they have put their hands together to see that they do not feel the bishop, they do not feel the church, and they do not feel themselves, where they have been asked to be there by some other Christians who voted that they can do the work. And so we have Pastor Nek Clement. He has been there for a very long time, beginning from All Saints Parish, Mutengene. Pastor Nek, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So you're coming to tell the public about Mile 14, and I'm sure you put your heads together, put one on two, to ensure that you tell them just the truth about what happens in Mile 14. How you been managing for the past 7 to 8 years? You need to tell them all those things. So that's why one of the reasons that you're here today.
Thank you. Mile 14 is a small environment that has now been growing through leaps and bounds because of influx of other people from Mutengene coming up to acquire land in Mile 14 and staying there. And with that reason, the church has been growing. We started as a mission station under Tico. Then when Mutengene All Saints Parish left Tico, was made a parish, we came out with Mutengene and we became a mission station under Mutengene.
Yeah.
After some time, as issues, the church kept growing. It got to a certain level where Mile 14 now grew and had the status of one of the biggest mission stations under All Saints Parish. And from time to time, under the stewardship of His Blessed Memory, Father Patrick Harrington, they wanted to send Mile 14 mission station under Mile 16. We had a small conclave with the bishop where we said, no, we cannot leave Tico as a mission station. We come to Mutengene as a mission station, and then they want to send us to Mile 16 as a mission station. We said, no, if they want to send us, we don't want to be a mission station any longer under any other parish. In that line, they should make us a parish.
Yes, Clement, asking maybe that permission from the bishop. Do you think that Mile 14 Dibanda was ready for them to become a parish, putting maybe one or two together?
I think we were ready because at the start, immediately it was pronounced, Mile 14 was pronounced as a parish. The Christians saluted it with great pleasure, and they were so happy, and all of them went into work. And then we had to put things in place to receive our parish priest, and then we start learning how to become a full-fledged parish, and then we had to put ourselves together to see how we can erect a good structure which is befitting for a parish.
Yeah, thank you very much. Since the chairman is here with us, Chairman, good evening, Dr. Jobal. Added to what Clement has just said, what do you think about, becoming a parish? Becoming a parish is like a child who wants to go to school. They have to go get things in the market, books, pens, rulers, and some other kind of things, take off money for school fees and the rest, and to ensure that that child goes to school and will not be sent back maybe till the end of the academic year, that he or she will be coming back for holidays. Where all those things has been, I'm sure, the first chairman of that place, where all those things put together to ensure that this child, which is my 14, is ready to go to school, joining the other students like All Saints Parish and some other parishes in the Diocese of Boya.
Good evening, Father. Good evening, televiewers. Thank you for asking us that question. I am the pioneer chair of the St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Mile 14, Dibanda. I think we had a very good parish priest in Mutengene at the time at the All Saints Parish, Father Patrick Harrington, who had an open hands policy, who welcomed us. We were more or less living like an entity within the bigger parish, the All Saints Parish. It would be important to note that before our parish was born, for close to 12 years, we had been at the helm of the All Saints Parish. Professor Mi Matthias, Afwe of blessed memory, started off as the vice chairman in the All Saints Parish. Then, after 3 years, he became the chairman. I was the Secretary General of the Parish Pastoral Council at the time, and we had a couple of members. Persona here present was a member of the finance bench. And so we worked like that for a very long time. And so we were the ones practically managing the All Saints Parish at the time. So when we were made a parish, we had that preliminary training, the rules we had been playing at the All Saints Parish, we just transferred it. But I want to salute the effort of Father Patrick Harrington, who really nurtured us into being a parish. I also want to salute the effort of Father Epierre, who succeeded Father Patrick Harrington, with whom we worked very closely. I also want to say that it was really great, but the person who actually took us to this level of parish was Father Stephen. Father Stephen, who was the one more like a parish priest, because he was a resident priest in the All Saints Parish. So he was with us every day. Even the evening of the announcement of the creation of our parish, he was there earlier on in the day. We had done some work together, and when the parish came, he's the first person who called. And the preparatory, partly from our experience gathered over time in Mutengene, and partly from our intuitive reasoning that when you are born as a child, you have to grow, even if you are exposed to some gadgets that may help you to walk, but you have to learn to walk. It is an intuitive process, and we went through all of that, and today I think we're a parish comfortable in our state and happy for who we are.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tioba. We cannot be talking about the parish setup without looking at the catechist, who happens to be the closest collaborator of the priest or the parish priest back there in Mile 14 Dibanda. Catechist Alphonse, working with the priests who have been coming there as a mission station, then moved up to a parish level. What are some of those maybe things you've put in order to ensure that the faith remains there, bringing the Christians together, bringing maybe the catechumens together, and seeing yourself not just like a catechist who managing a mission station, but this time a parish, putting all those things together? What are some of those challenges that you had from a mission station this time around, maybe a parish?
Thank you, Father. Good evening, televiewers. I'm so privileged to be in this platform today. It was not an easy task, but by the grace of God, we try to put things together with all the priests that have worked together with them. It was a very big challenge to see that at times you call children, you move around to gather children for doctrine classes, and at times you wait for them, but they did not even come. But you still keep on moving ahead. Before coming to the level of the parish, I worked with the All Saints Parish. Thank God that Father Patrick Harrington of blessed memory, he was there to encourage us, all the catechists, that it is not going to be easy, but we took it as a stage of gladness, because the way he was dealing with us, he was a very nice father to all of us and even to all Christians, and through him we learned a lot of many things about the issue of doctrine classes. Coming to the point of the RCIA, he was the one who really implemented the RCIA program in Muntengene, and we had almost 2 sections in my 14 by then. But after that, that one has not happened again because of due to changes and transfer and all the like, and that one has not been following up. And we believe that it will have to improve as this time is going around.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Alphonse. The catechist has, like some persons made it clear to us that the church, you don't build a church with Hail Marys. So you need to put things together. Finance has to come inside it. That is why we talked with Professor Josepha, who is here with us. She has been there in the financial bench for a couple of years also. How have you been managing the financial bench in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda, my 14, coupled with the fact that someone, like I said, that's been carved out as a red zone? How do you manage to ensure that maybe your priest, they have something to eat, you cope with the harvest Thanksgiving, your fundraising, maybe the offer and everything, and to make sure that things move on smoothly?
Good evening, televiewers, the DMRTV. It's a pleasure being here. How have we coped? By making sure that it's collective effort. The demographics of my 14 are such that you would at first find it very difficult to believe that that parish can realize some of the projects that they have. But as the pioneer chairperson of the parish has said, and as Mr. Sonne said, everybody welcomed the idea of being a parish, and there was that conviction, and with conviction came commitment. As far back as I can remember, it's like we have had a constant round of fundraisings under different slogans.
Yeah.
And everybody in the community takes it as a personal duty to see that the parish runs. In a family, you communicate everything, so a lot of openness. But I must say that we're not as comfortable. We must say that our priests have had to sacrifice a lot. Father Uda, who has been transferred, and any other visiting priests, basically saw how the community was struggling and decided to live at that level, and I think that has helped a lot. The community, as I said, is made up mostly of retirees, farmers, and I don't think that those people have the kind of financial clout that you can find in other places. And then the crisis came up and worsened matters. People moved out. They are now moving back, gradually, which is a good thing. I remember once when we were drawing up the budget for, was it 2020, if I'm not mistaken, and we presented our estimates, and His Lordship said, "Are you people sure about this?" The only answer is it's a budget of hope. And I think that hope has kept us going. The conviction has helped us to be committed and to sacrifice. That's really all we can say. If we gave the figures, you would see that everybody has had to sacrifice.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Josepha. Someone has just made mention of the fact that chairman, the outgoing chairman, that the Catholic parish of St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibandamai 14, is compared somehow in bracket like a women and gender class. What do you tell them? So women and gender class, if you go to University of Boya, you have maybe if you have 200 students there, we have 185 female and just about 15 male. How do you manage with that kind of situation in order to keep the parish going?
Well, I will say I rather consider it a strength, because some people will think it's a weakness, because we rely, all of us in society, we rely on our mothers. Our mother, and Cameroon as a nation was dedicated to Mary many years ago, and we all know that Mary being the first tabernacle, that is how we too have surrendered ourselves to the women of the church, who constitute a majority of the population. The Finance Commission chair just mentioned that our church was a church with a peculiar demography. A peculiar demography because we have the number of women outnumber, or the women outnumber the men by about 3 times. Then you have youths and children who are also quite many. And the men are very few. But the strength of these women is not only demonstrated in the church. You realize that in the outer society in my 14, these women constitute the main breadwinners in their households, because they are the persons who are in active service. Most of the men are retirees, and so the women are more active. They cultivate the farms, they do the buy and sell-ams, they do all sorts of businesses around. And so their shoulder is the hope of the My 14 community. And this transcends from the communities to the church. And so the church also relies on the generosity of the women, rely on the networking spirit of the women. And on that basis, we are trying to succeed. We're trying to succeed. It is difficult, no doubt, because they don't really have any meaningful income. But the little we put together, we pray to God, and we are making some progress, though very, very slow, because we are not where we would have loved to be. We are not where some of the other parishes that were created alongside My 14 are, but at least we are striving to somewhere we wish to be. So I want to seize this opportunity to say a big thank you to all our mothers, all the women of My 14 for their generosity, for their hard work. You need to see them come out when it is time for work in church. The women, they carry the gravels, they mix this, they carry the sand, they help us in pulling and pushing the stones from the hole to the nearby places, and that's how we've been working. We don't look at them as women, we just look at them as co-equals.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Choba. Someone equally made mention of the fact that the population, like I said, is more of a kind of women and gender class, and when you get majority of them, the female, like you've explained, the second part of it is children, the children, but like it is seen with the school there, they have the nursery and primary school. Most of those pupils down there, they are not part and parcel of the Catholic nursery and primary school. What do you think can be done in order to, to enhance maybe the population, the chunk of young boys, the pupils who come for mass, but then they are being nurtured by some other schools around, not the Catholic schools. Whereas we are told that Catholic schools is holistic. You have everything then, and that's the base. And when they miss it, it will be difficult for them, to move ahead in life. So what do you think can be put in place in order maybe to magnet these children and maybe to be part and parcel of the Catholic nursery school that is owned by the parish?
Thank you once again, Father, for touching another very sensitive area in My 14, St. Jude Thaddeus Parish. What I want us to understand is that the Catholic school was created out of necessity. There were 2 main things involved. The first one was the need to harness our children within an area where we have doctrinal comfort. The second one was that there was no school in My 14 with a strong spiritual background. And so we thought part of the social decadence that we're witnessing in society could be streamlined by creating a Catholic school that will nurture the children to be the type of Cameroonians we want to have tomorrow. And so that is how we came up. saying that many children are not attending Catholic school, it's a bit not the best, because if we look at the pupil population around the different primary schools in my 14, I think we have the most populated primary school in my 14. And so the St. Jude Thaddeus Nursery and Primary School is actually one of the centers, one of the centers where parents have found solace, parents have found comfort in keeping their children there for daycare and for education. And one thing I also want to draw, the main challenge we are facing is that the parish is located in the side of the town where you have fewer houses. And this is not the only parish facing this challenge. And so the majority of the people have to cross the road to get to the parish and to get to the primary school. And we know that being a community with a highly feminine population, and being a community without so much economic advantages, people leave their homes very early in the morning, at times before the children even are ready for school. And so most often they don't have somebody to help the children cross the road. And my 14 is noted for several road accidents, highway accidents. And so because of this, there is a general fear to leave the children on their own to cross the road, though we have also found solution to that. We didn't leave the problem unsolved. So it is but normal that many parents will not want to send their children to the Catholic school, though they wish to. And in response to that, we have created a committee that is in charge of crossing the children in the morning in different clusters. So when they gather in clusters, we help cross them. We've bought them special dresses for highway interactions. We've also painted boats that we use to help cross them, and that only started this year, last September. So it's very certain that with this new approach, with the renovations brought in the school and innovations done to the school, we are going to have many more pupils come September 2024. So it's normal that, but also remember, we are living from a period of crisis where many people left with their children, and we are having an influx of people. And so with time, we are going to witness the growth that all of us desire to have, because we are putting every mechanism in place to make St. Jude Thaddeus Primary Nursery and Primary School the place to be.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman. We come back to Pasone as one of the pioneer Christians back there in my 14 Dibanda. It's no news to us that the parish was created in the period of the crisis. How have you survived? You know, it's like giving birth in the forest. Maybe the women, Mama Foba best explain that. It's like giving birth while in the forest. You have little or nothing. How have you been managing from that time to, I'm sure, 2018, 2019, right up to this time? The heat of the crisis, and my 14, like I said, has been marked out as a red zone. What are the strategies that you put in place in order to ensure that you still remain or stand tall?
Thank you very much, viewers. Greetings. Good evening to everybody. My 14 is peculiar, and it has characteristics of a town that you have people resilient. Some of us who have been there for long, even with the situation that we face due to the crisis, some people had to resist, and they stayed there, they stayed back, keeping my 14 alive. In that situation, it had to spare even people who went away. They had to think what they have left in my 14, and at a certain level, they started coming back to join people who were there. It bared out, it gave the strength of the people living in my 14. And also, as the people started coming back, it helped that the church should also grow. And in that spirit, all of us, be it the fewer number of people, since my 14 too is not different from any other town in Cameroon or any other establishment in Cameroon, where you have more women than men, we continue with the spirit that we have to build together and to go ahead with our projects and see how we can continue building our My 14 society and the church.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pasone, for the clarifications there. And to the catechees, like you made mention of the fact that late Father Patrick Harrington started all this in All Saints Parish, the RCIA. So with the Bishop Bibi bringing the RCIA on board again was not something new to the parishioners and the parishioners of St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda Mile 14. So, but then we just that gap that it was stopped. They stopped it sometime and then they had to come back again. What are some of those challenges that you face as a catechees? That seminarians who come who have maybe a month or 2 or 3 for doctrine classes, and at the end of it they go in for the sacrament. But this time around they need to take the first year, the second year, and the third year. What are some of those challenges coming back to this RCIA? Something that has been abandoned for some years back.
Thank you very much for that. The great challenges that we have here is with the parents for the moment now, because we keep on trying to give the announcements, sensitize parents to at least send their children for doctrine classes in their various SCC. But since many parents do not even understand what is all about the SCC, they just think that it was just an empty announcement and to make sure that children just come and they just baptize them. But with the new pastoral formation team that has been put in place, we are trying to follow up all those things and to make sure that the RCI program takes effect in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish as other parishes. And thanks to the pastoral office, is also following up with all those things to make sure that they make available the materials that will also help us. And the challenges that we have a lot in my 14 also is because of the lack of materials. That we don't have the materials to give to the leaders of the SCCs to start from somewhere. And we believe that if we have those materials in place, the RCI program will effectively work in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish.
Yeah, thank you very much, Catechees. Can you, since you've talked about maybe the SCCs, can you tell the public about the SCCs back there in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, my 14 Dibanda, if at all maybe they have a mission station and maybe kind of estimated population of that parish so far?
Yes, concerning the SCCs of St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, we have 3 big SCCs. We have St. Peter and St. Paul, we have St. Gabriel, and we have St. Maria Goretti. But due to the carving out of the population, another new SCC have been added. That is St. Jerome that has come in. And the difficulties about these SCCs is just that people who were voted through their commissions before never knew really what was about the various commissions, how to function. But now they have been drilled, and many people who have been there before have worked and see the benefit of all those commissions, and the commissions are really moving. I believe that with these new strategies that we put in place, the commissions will very, very effectively move ahead. The estimated population of St. Jude Thaddeus Parish is about 400 Christians that are presently in attendance. When we talk of a full mass, we have at least 400 Christians. But as the chairman earlier said, the population is really made up of women and children. But we still thank God for the few men who are making the effort to come. As harvest is already ongoing, many people always stay behind, since they know that harvest time is always about money. But we keep on praying that God will touch them and they will come.
Yeah, thank you very much, Katekisa, or the chairman again will come on board. You're going to tell us more following the pastoral plan. It's no news to us that in the Diocese of Boya, we've been working on that to ensure that the change of hand, those who have been there for the past years, the handover for a new government to continue the work of God. What has been the case in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda, my 14 so far?
Dibanda, St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, my 14 Dibanda has been following the diocesan program for Parish Pastoral Council elections, and very soon the Deanery Pastoral Council election, and eventually the Diocesan Pastoral Council elections. We organized elections 2 weeks ago. We had a new council elected through the procedure defined in the provincial pastoral plan, beginning from the SCCs with the commissions. And since we don't have a mission station, we moved directly from the SCC to the parish, where we had the commissions elected, and we also had the parish pastoral council executive elected. And next Sunday we are going to see Sunday the 29th of October, I beg your pardon, we are going to have the new council installed, and this installation shall see the transfer of power from the pioneer parish pastoral council that has been there since the birth of the parish till now, and we are going to welcome the new parish pastoral council. I take this opportunity to also salute the newly elected parish pastoral council chair, Engineer Bar Gerard, who will be taking office next Sunday. It's going to be a very colorful occasion, and I am the outgoing parish pastoral council chairman together with my team. I think we've worked hard, and we're happy to give the relay baton to the new council, but we also stand as the fallback position to give them the necessary support, the necessary advice and technicalities that may be needed in the management of God's house and God's people.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Chioba. Can you please tell the viewers more also on the activities of the church, bringing in maybe the choirs and the young people? How do they participate to ensure that there's life over there in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda, my 40?
If one thing is present in Dibanda, it is life. And it is this life that, despite being born during a period of crisis, we are like a child born in Israel, born in the Gaza Strip, born in Palestine, and some of those war-torn areas of the world. So we were born in that crisis period. We've grown up in the crisis period, and we are living in the crisis period. But what kept us moving, what sustained us, was first of all hope, like the finance chair, Professor Foba, just said, but also life. Life, because we have a very dynamic youthful population, we have a very dynamic women population, we have a dynamic male population, that no matter what, we always try to put our hands together to get the best out of what we are trying to do. If there is an occasion, for instance, the celebration of the parish feast day, the celebration of an SCC feast day, the celebration of a group feast day, and what have you, you will realize that everybody struggles to participate in some way. The women will prepare food, the men will get the drinks, the youths will prepare the music, and it's so lively being in my 14. And one of our strengths is also collaboration. We are not only a parish and remain as a parish, but we try as much as possible to collaborate. So you'll find us from time to time linking with St. Jude Parish, my 16, linking with All Saints Parish, Mutengene, and going beyond. And so that is how we live our lives. And we also struggle to network with people who've once been in the parish. So when somebody who's been in the parish goes out of the parish and there is something there, you have a huge representation of the parish in those places. You can name them. So we have so many groups in the church. I would not want to mention them, but will you be talking about Blue Army that we don't have? Will you be talking about Divine Mercy, St. Jude, the patron saint of the parish, Cadets of Mary, Tarsicians, and what have you? And so we have many of them, CWA, CMA, and so on and so forth. So these groups constitute the main force, the main running force or the driving force of the parish. And we are also very opportune to have had very dynamic priests. We began with Father Anthony Uda, who put in all he could to see to it that the parish got to the level where he left it. He lived with us throughout the crisis in the community before moving to reside at the parish house. We have Father Ernest Epang, who is our current parish priest, who will go against all odds to see that there is mass in the parish, who will go against all odds to see that the sick in the communities have the body of Christ. And so what else do we need to be a happy people in my 14. And so that is how we've been living. Father Ernest will trek at the time to even come and say Mass. In the peak of the crisis, he will drive his vehicle from Munya down to my 14 to say Mass. So I think we are a blessed people, and that is what has kept us moving together with people who are resilient, like Mr. Sonne said, and the people who are willing to contribute whatever they can for the sustainability of the parish.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Tioba. We come back to Professor Fupa. It is no news to us that the bishop has been paying visit to the parish for pastoral needs, or the pastoral visit, as we call them. Can you please maybe tell the public about, maybe I'm sure, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 of those visits, and what was the impact, to the Christian back there in the parish?
Really, Father, every time we're waiting to receive His Lordship is a great rallying point. It's like the parish experiences another rebirth, and usually it's a time of growth. And for some reason, the excitement goes beyond just the Catholic community to the rest of the community. Maybe because my 14 is first of all a small community, and so even we go beyond our congregational grounds to maybe a kind of ecumenism which is not spelled out. For example, during this last visit, the bike riders, the way women, a lot of them they are not Catholics, but you should have seen their participation. It was as if the bishop was there for everybody. And so we really, really, really value those visits, because for us it reanimates. And when he is there also, he helps us to refocus, because being a young parish, we tend to want to do everything at once. But he's got this nice approach where when he comes in, he reasons with us, and then we sort of like, okay, say maybe we should be looking at this particular project and this one, so that we can at least get to a point where we can engage in things that are doable. And maybe the project person will talk more about that. So we really appreciate those visits. The last visit, what I really retained from it is the focus on trying to get a piece of land that we need. You spoke about us not having you asked us what it would take for our school to do much better than it is doing at the moment. I think that having extra space is really critical. The present parish priest, we appreciate what he's doing to make the environment more suitable, but those efforts are limited by limited space. And so if we can get more space, then. And so it's with a lot of excitement that we are looking forward to a grand fundraising that would help us to acquire more land. And that land would not only help to ensure that we have a proper presbytery, but we expect that the school should also, because if there's space there and the school and the church are running together, they can share that space, and together they have a more enabling environment for both Christian lives to grow and the school to grow. And as you mentioned, very important for our children to grow up with the proper Catholic training. So and maybe this is also the time to say that I think that school brought a lot of conversions. There are children in my 14 who were not Catholics before, who became Catholics because of that school. And it is interesting, it is worth mentioning that some of the first children from my 14 itself to go to secondary school were able to go to secondary school thanks to that school. Before that school, there were other schools, but the seriousness with which it took off, and with which we are still pursuing the project, especially under the able leadership of the present parish priest. I think that it's certainly going to go places. There's this explosion of schools in Mile 14, but I think that before long, people would see which one is worth sending the children to. Now, I wish to take this opportunity. It's not only about the Catholic community, but when the chairperson spoke before, he mentioned this fear surrounding accidents on that stretch of the road that goes from mile 15 right down to Plantecam Hill. And I think that I would like, on a personal note, to use this opportunity to plead with the civil authorities to see something, to do something about securing that stretch of the road. Because we used to have speed breaks there, but everything has been removed. And you can have all the committees you like, but even if the committee members are afraid of using the road themselves, it cannot be very helpful. So this is a plea that I'm making as a member of the community and as a member of the Catholic community in Mile 14, especially because it's not only the school, but there's also the healthcare center, which is across the road, which is referred to as Arch, which is commonly referred to as Arch. So the civil authorities doing something to help control traffic along that stretch of the road, starting from Mile 15 down to what is popularly known as Plantecam Hill, would go a long way to improve security in that community.
Yeah, thank you very much. While Madam Kindness is preparing the video, I'm sure that was a visit of the bishop in St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, Dibanda Mile 14. The outgoing chair is here. He's going to tell us little about the difficulties we've been having down there in the parish, with some of our Christians going to Mile 16, some going to Mutengene, some going right to Tico, some going to Charles Luangas. How do you manage that?
Yeah, thank you once again, Father. I think we've all mentioned time without numbers that Mile 14 is quite a small community. And as small as it is, we have very powerful communities surrounding us. You have St. Jude Parish, Mile 16, Bolifamba, and you have the All Saints Parish in Mutengene, but you also have the St. Francis Parish in Mutengene. So we have two neighbors by the south and one neighbor by the north. And it's a parish that is actually very linear in its settlement pattern. And so those at the extremes are very much tempted to go to the very comfortable churches in Mutengene, All Saints Parish. It's an established parish for more than 25 years. So everything is settled to have very comfortable life there. Some also choose to go to St. Jude Parish by 16, where they have a completed church, story building with glass walls, unlike our church, which is we are battling with dust every day, rain that falls and the wind blows water into the church, with our benches without kneelers and support, and our benches, broken ones that we've managed to patch, and we have only 6 modern benches donated by some Christians. And so you see that when people want to live in comfort without actually contributing to development, it's easy to sway away from where you are, from the focus. But I think I still thank the parishioners. Most of us still remain within the parish and struggle to see how to build the parish. That is not all. The crisis hit the community and many people flee. Many people flee, few have come back, but we are hoping that more will come back. That is not also all. We have severe economic hardship within these areas. You will bear with me that the level of economic hardship witnessed before the crisis and during the crisis, there are 2 extremes of a continuum. And so it is now difficult for people to make ends meet. With a parish under construction, where we generally have several contributions in the course of the year, many Christians are scared away, but then we keep the gospel going, we comfort them and try to explain to them at each time why we have to do what we are doing. the finance committee chair just mentioned a while ago that since the birth of the parish, we've been running from one fundraising to the other. It is not easy for people to withstand such things given their individual hardships that they are facing. And so that is part of it. Secondly, we are in an environment with so much unforeseens. If you can imagine that bullets perforated the roof of the church, and how do you sit with comfort inside such a church where from time to time you hear the sounds of the gun crisscrossing? So people who are not courageous enough may not be able to live under such conditions. But I also say that it's a church under construction, it's a church with its own reality, but we enjoy it because many people might have lived in environments where they met churches but might not have had the opportunity to build God's house. And this is a golden opportunity for many Christians. They are happy doing what they are doing, that we are experiencing in our own time the construction of God's house. With our own widow's might, we are moving gradually but surely. And so, despite all the challenges, it is not all about challenges, it's also about how we are moving on.
Yeah, thank you very much, the outgoing chair, Dr. Nji Tioba. We welcome the project chair with us here, Engineer Gerard. Someone has termed the Catholic Church in Dibanda Mile 14 as the Titanic and the Munya Dineri. Can you please tell the public about the story, how we realized the gymnastics you played in order to realize this dream?
Okay. Thank you, Pate. Thank you, televiewers. I'm grateful to be on this platform today to talk about project in Mile 14, Dibanda. We actually started with a Karabot church, and when we were in that Karabot church, just as the other participants made it, many people were going out to better churches where they had to meet nice infrastructure. But those of us who stayed back, and most of the Christians of Mile 14, worked hard to change that church from the Karabot church to what it is presently. We had several slogans in our church. We had the Karabot church, and after we had the Karablock, where we had the block encircling the Karabot, and after we demolished the Karabot and then lived now with the block and roofed it. The present church as it is a project which we designed and built it up to approximately 102 million. And at the state where we are, we have executed approximately 50% of the works, and we are still expected to do works about 50% to finish the church. So many people look at it, it's nice, but there's still work to be done there. We have actually walked from a state where individuals have sacrificed. The way we have handled the project in Catholic Church Dibanda is totally different from the way other churches have handled projects. We usually identify the talents we have within our church and make sure that those talents work within that church. And in such approaches, we have had people who have devoted themselves in doing what is good because they are doing it in their own house. So I think that is how we have gone.
Yes, looking at that period, before Mile 14 became a parish, we were told that it was like the former chairman, made mention of it, that it was like a child that was born in Gaza Street, the famous Gaza Street, with war. How did you put your things, your resources together to ensure that we have this magnificent building that we have down there in Mile 14?
Okay, we would appreciate the plans that came from a friend of our community. There is a Bishop Fidelis, the first plan for that particular project was designed by him. And when he designed the project, we found that it was a bit smaller because we had already foreseen that this is a roadside parish and it is going to grow. We back in our parish council meeting, we enlarged the plan a bit to make sure that we have a church that will not require breaking and building. So we enlarged the church and came out with a bigger plan, which we are actually executing at the moment. This began with the foundation around the carabot. When we got the foundation around the carabot, every person was seeing how the project was coming, and every person was contributing, just the same as these other colleagues have mentioned. And that is how we actually came up with such giant project.
Yes, so what do you tell the public about the you know, where you are at this point in time, and maybe a kind of, maybe when do you think you could maybe complete that particular building?
Completing of that particular building, as a project chairman, I think it will take us another approximately 5 to 10 years. Why do I say 5 to 10 years? It's because we actually need our parish priest to be resident so as to accompany the projects of the parish. So we presently have suspended that particular project in working towards acquiring the land, which is our priority presently, to make sure that we get a residence for the parish priest, which is not inside the parish project. I mean, which the residence is not. For this moment, we are still thinking about acquiring the land. When we get the land, then we might suspend the project as it is, just do some small works around to make sure that it still looks good, get residence for the parish priest. Then the parish priest now and his assistant, because we are actually a big community, we are already foreseeing that we have a population more than 1,000, but most people, as the chairman said, are moving out to other churches. When we would have a parish priest and the bishop decides to add an assistant to him, we are going to capture all other Christians around, and then we will now be able to complete that church in no time.
Yeah, thank you very much. Since the chairperson is here equally, okay, you made mention of the catechist talked about the small Christian communities and talking about St. Gabriel, which is in my 15. What do you think about it without the mission station? What do you think about St. Gabriel becoming a mission station? What do you think about it as the chairperson who has been there for all these years?
It's been difficult running the church with its present disposition, and that is why we had to increase the number of SCC. We had to add one, because my 14 is a very, very fast growing community. And when you look at, like I said, it's a community with a lot of lineality in its character. And so we have my 15, which is part of the parish. We have the new layout down after Habitat, stretching towards Mutengene, which is part of the parish. And those communities have grown up to more than 5 kilometers from the main road that divides the town. And so it's difficult for Christians to leave those areas and come for worship within the main parish. So at the moment, we are earmarking 2 mission stations, hoping that we work very hard like we've done in the past. The bishop can give us the authorization through our parish priest to create mission stations in these communities. So that means we will have to map out a mission station within St. Peter and Paul SCC, and we will also have to map out a mission station in St. Gabriel SCC, which is my 15. And in line with that, we've engaged moves towards having a place of worship in my 15. Presently, we have a mass station in the St. Gabriel Mission Station in my 15, Lower Bokova. We have a mass station there. Father says mass there every Sunday. And so that is also in preparation for some eventuality which may lead to the mission station being created. We are also in constant talks with the chief of the area, whom I want to use this opportunity to salute him as a major stakeholder in the St. Jude Thaddeus Parish. He is not a Catholic, but he plays a very important role in the comfort of the Christians who are resident in Lower Bokova, my 15. I also want to use this opportunity to salute the encouragement and the collaboration of the chief of my 14, who is often with us, time without numbers, together with his traditional council, whenever we have an occasion. And so we are also looking at means of expanding beyond the parish level to have worship grounds for the 2 mission stations. That notwithstanding, within the my 14, the main town itself, there is also need to create other mass stations that are also located in those areas where people are living, which these areas are quite far from the main mission, from the main parish church. Like we said before, it's a fast-growing community. Let's not also forget that one of the ways of reducing congestion in the main church, one of the ways of not breaking down the walls of the main church is by creating mission station and creating mass stations, so that we make people to worship at very close areas to them, to their families. That is the whole issue behind the SCC, taking the church into the communities. So we are also moving away from the main parish into the communities.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Theobald. Since the chair for project is here, can you tell the public, or sharing with them your views, how you intend to make sure that you acquire the land so that you can have a presbytery and some other things, or maybe kind of a hall and some other things that may be put together there to make the parish to boom? What are the strategies that you've put in place in order to do that?
Before now, we have actually targeted families. We've targeted families such that families could be able to making their contributions towards the harvest. Last year, we worked all our harvest towards that particular project, and I think at moment we are approximately 50%, or let's say 40% of the amount required to purchase that land. The strategy which we have in hand, which our Lord Bishop has accepted to come for another fundraising sometimes in December, would permit us to carry that amount to approximately 60 to 70% of the amount, and hoping that at the harvest of this year, if we meet our target, we could complete that amount and acquire the land. Then can we now start talking on what project to put on that particular land? For the moment, every energy we have in the parish is geared towards acquiring that land.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm sure maybe the chairperson also may have one or two things to say added to that, and then the finance person, putting your heads together to see that you get, like you said, to see that you maybe that dream becomes true, so that we can do many other things in the parish to make the parish look like maybe other parishes in the diocese. Yes, Judge.
Yes, I just want to say that I'll give the tip of the iceberg. The Parish Finance Commission chair will uncover the iceberg for everybody to see concerning this giant fundraising that we are planning and we are preparing, because she is the chair of the organizing committee for the fundraising. Sometimes within the year or so, last year or so, we had a meeting with our Lord the Bishop, whom we co-opted and begged for funds to pre-sponsor the project. Like our bishop has said, there is no money in the bishop's house, and he came up with this idea of fundraising, that we should organize a fundraising. And he is the first fundraiser, because he is the one who said he is willing to come say mass with us and we have to raise these funds. And so I think he's already made his donation by making himself available for this grand fundraising. As a follow-up on that, we had a couple of meetings. We proposed our dates. Finally, he confirmed that the fundraising will be held on the 10th of December, Sunday the 10th of December 2023. Let me use this opportunity to invite televiewers of DMRTV that the parishioners, together with our Lord Bishop, where you are invited for the grand fundraising that will be held at the St. Jude Thaddeus Parish, My 14 Dibanda, beginning with Holy Mass at 9 o'clock. Please don't fail to join us. So in this light, we have formed the organizing committee, we formed the local subcommittees, and we've put work is in progress towards making this day achieve the goal, like the project committee said. I'll leave the Parish Finance Commission chair to shed more light on this.
Yeah, Professor Foba, you happen to be the president of that, that little group for preparing for the grand fundraising on the 10th of December 2023, where the bishop himself will be the chief fundraiser, with the Holy Mass being at 9 a.m. What do you have to tell the public about that?
Okay, so we are preparing for a celebration. Fundraising in my 14 is always a celebration. This time around, we're going to reach out to our benefactors. We're preparing special invitations that we'll be distributing within the next week or so. We're going to keep it small with the special invitations, but like the outgoing chairperson has said, we're using this opportunity to invite all of those who can come in to help us, because as it is said, a roadside church is a church for everybody.
Yeah.
So that church is a church for, I dare say, Buea Diocese, because you can't get to Kumba or to Mamfe without passing by that church. And if I take my own life as an example, I can't count how many times I've walked into churches all over and used that church to, to rebuild my spirit. So we're inviting everybody to be there. We have the most special fufu and bitter leaf menu that you can imagine around the whole of Southwest. We have sha and we have white mimbo, and we always make sure that even as we're raising the money, we're having fun. So our chairperson was not just making empty announcements when he said that although things are hard, we are having fun doing what we are doing. So you are all invited. The date is the 10th of December 2023, starting with Holy Mass at 9 o'clock. And it is the Christians of St. Jude Parish, My 14 Dibanda, and His Lordship, the Bishop of Buea, who are inviting you to that big celebration, through which we are going to raise the funds to be able to get the land that we need to build a roadside church community that would serve the whole diocese.
Yeah, thank you very much, Professor Poma. Also, I'm sure maybe there is foods down there. You have fruits and we have flowers for those who may come. I don't know. You said sha and palm wine and the other things.
It is flowers that got me interested in settling in Mile 14.
Yeah.
So those, I'm sure the people are aware of those. I just wanted them to know about the special mention.
Yeah, thank you very much. We have greetings here from Mr. Nya Isaac. He says, good evening, father and the others. I'm following the program, but there is too much background noise. We are sorry for that. Technical things are always like that. We'll try to handle that. Madam Kindness should be handling that at this moment. Good job by St. Jude Thaddeus Parish crew. You are all wonderful people who build God's house tirelessly. May God continue to give you the strength and wisdom needed to take our parish to another level. Special greetings to the new parish council chairperson and the others, the crew that is there. This is from Auntie Paulette from Dibanda. And since time is not our friend, we cannot leave this studio today from a chairperson without talking about the Ash Dibanda, which happens to be, I don't know how to coin it, but it is another small Christian community for that parish. What do you have to say about that, your relationship with that?
Thank you, Father. I'm sure we would not have been happy to leave this platform without talking about Ash. There is something peculiar about Ash that I want people to know today. Ash is the source of blessing of the St. Jude Thaddeus parish and the source of blessing of the entire my 14th Dibanda community, because there is a synergy between Ash and the parish. When the parish was before we initiated the present construction, we begged the Bishop Emeritus if we could build this church within the Ash community, within that center, so that we could use up that land for the school. The bishop said no, it is good we keep the parish church outside, and then we work in collaboration with Ash. And I think that decision was the best, because today it makes us to see the value of Ash from the exterior. The value because one of the activities of all the groups is corporal works of mercy, and the groups constantly visit the sick persons in Ash. And Ash doesn't only accommodate Catholics, we have Catholics and non-Catholics. And so when we go there and we talk with them, we sing with them, we pray with them, it gives us an opportunity to live the faith that we profess every day. And I think it's a wonderful thing. Secondly, when we had to roof our church, when we had to destroy the wooden structure, which my fellow parishioner, the incoming parish pastoral council chairperson, said we demolished the Karabot to take the new title, the block church, we were accommodated by the Ash community. Ash is simply the Associated Rehabilitation Center for the Handicapped. So they accommodated us for some months. And it is good to note that the first pastoral visit of our bishop was while we were worshiping in the Ash community inside the center. He visited us there, and we moved and did a site visit to the present church building site. And we worked in collaboration, and we've always worked in collaboration. I quickly remember how we always begin our Chrism Mass from there. We take on our procession from there. During Palm Sunday, we also go there, and in several other activities. I also take this opportunity to greet the Sisters of St. Therese, who play a special role in the parish. They are always the forerunners when it comes to decorate the parish when we have events. And again, they are going to decorate the parish for the bishop's fundraising in our parish. And so that will be one of the attractions that it will be important for our guests to come and see.